All right, we have the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation on the line, David Chartrand.
How are you doing, Ray?
I'm fine. What did you hear?
I heard some bad stuff out there. You've been gallivanting around after midnight and running to bars and trying to sing on stages. And no, I'm just joking.
Thank God I'm this age that I can't remember. How are you? You're in Flin Flon.
I'm in Flin Flon. I actually flew back from Toronto yesterday and just got to the airport, switched into a vehicle, go home, switched the suitcases, and I was off to Flin Flon. So I didn't even get to put my head on my own pillow for over a week now.
Oh, wow.
Things are going well here, Ray. You got a packed house. Of course, we opened a new local office in Flin Flon, and I tell you the turnout here, packed. And we had the MLAs here, the mayor. It was just such a fitting tribute to so many of the people involved in coming. The chamber was here. They're so proud to see the Métis government opening an office here, creating employment and of course a partnership with the Métis government and the Flin Flon mayor and council is something that's really well appreciated. And I was telling the story, like when I tried building Cranberry, I said Bert Linfitt was here, and he's the chair of Cranberry Portage. And I said, when I tried building Cranberry, I don't think they've had a house built there in maybe 20, 30 years. Wow. And so we were down there a couple of years ago to try to build a 4 or 6-plex for our senior citizens, and to make sure they have good homes and good housing. And the Reeve and the municipality went against us. They blamed the people by saying the people in the referendum didn't want to lose any green space. And people just kind of, laughed out here because they said it's all green space. Mm-hmm. So there's so much open land there.
Yeah.
How can 6 little units affect it? But it just shows you sometimes, for whatever reason, people went against and voted against it. So, but here we're assured by the mayor and council, you come here, you want to build senior homes here, we will give you the green light and the permit you need. So that's a good sign, good message. And Julie Mayer, of course, is very proud, along with Daryl. And only problem, Daryl, of course, Ferlin. Joan Ledoux could not be here. She was the one actually organizing this. She's from Flin Flon. And she's the, of course, activist in this area. But along with her, this is a hard-working local. And Julie talks about they meet on a constant, and this is the heartbeat of the nation, the locals. And that's why we're building these local offices right across our province. And you have the chair, Lorraine Richka, best blueberry picker you'll ever come across. This is a woman of passion when it comes to blueberry picking. And so she's an active chair and takes her job very seriously, along with Kim Olstrom. And of course, you have Lori, I have a hard time saying the last name because it has an H in it, Evanston. And but again, it was these three ladies are shakers and movers, and they got the support of the community, and of course they got the support of the region. So again, strong woman, and it's a lot of times we all know it takes a woman to take the control of certain things in the household, and that one actually controls the future of where we're going, and it's always good. We also had Ron Burwash, a big passion storyteller. He was there being the MC, and he just loved the opportunity to talk about his relatives, which is Kuiper Grant, and then further along his other family members related to the Riel family. So it was good to hear that. So I did have a chance to speak about the future, what we're doing, and of course, and all the activity that's going on with the Métis government, and they were very, very impressed. People ask me questions, Ray, about the trapping. They're so happy about that the Métis government is actually taking on the lead to start a trapping company. So they asked that we got, the water has been really devastating to them. They can't really properly trap right now. And May 15, I think trapping comes to an end. But they do have some trappers who are successful in getting some fur. So they're asking the question, where do we sell our fur to, and how is it going to be done? Because so people listening right now, they have a better idea how fur usually was done. The fur buyer would come by and get a down payment, pay you towards your fur. Then they put the rest into open market. You send it to the national. They go international on it. Then you get a check. What we're going to do is we're paying a very high premium on it right now. We're not using the North American fur market price schedule, because it's paying next to nothing. Like if you're lucky, you get a 50 cents for a muskrat. So $10 for a beaver. So we're going to be paying $35, $50 a beaver, $4.50 to $5 for a muskrat. So, we're buying all of it for too. So a lot of them came up to me and asked me a bunch of questions here, about 4 or 5. These are all trappers, and they came here too to meet with me. And they heard I was going to be here, and they wanted to know. They're just so proud to meet the government, and they also have already some fur to sell. So I told them that Don Roulette is in charge of that file, and just phone the MMF, but we'll get a hold of your region, and we'll come down and see your fur, and we'll come by and pay you cash. But don't tell them when we're coming, Ray. I said, because what if we have some cash in the vehicle and somebody's going to try to stop us?
Exactly.
They all laughed anyway. So Métis will never let that happen. Anyways, you see some of the stories that's coming up in a free press, Ray, about Pope Francis. Now they've indicated they settled the 3 locations: Edmonton, Quebec, and Iqaluit. And of course, he's going to Lac St. Anne, which is a famous lake with miracles that have come out of that lake. We took a Helder's buses out there and vans in the past. So we will probably be planning that once we get better clarity. But we're not giving up. I sent a letter to His Holiness, reminding him about, again, the historical connection between the Métis and the Red River and the Church that goes back over 200 years, and that if you want to give us any type of great honor and respect and revitalization and some people will call it reconciliation and hope, there's nothing more powerful than going to bless the grave of Louis Riel. So we're still going to push that out. I still got time, Ray. Yeah. And I want to take Phil Fontaine also. I've been chatting with him about trying to put the pressure on the Pope to make sure that he consider Manitoba, because he's got an extra little bit of window in his trip here. But I do know, Ray, and I repeat this, his health is not the best. And that's something I think we need to all be conscious of and something we have to watch for. Right. Also, on another note, now people I can talk about, I didn't talk about it on the radio yet because I was still making sure we're working on the legal details. But as you know, the Selkirk announcement will be coming very soon, Ray. The apartment, I think it's got 45 to 49 apartments in there, but it's got, in the bottom, it's got retail and commercial on the second floor. We plan to open probably clinics in there, Ray, at the same time with pharmacies. So Selkirk, be prepared. Not only are you getting a brand new apartment block right in the river, such a stunning apartment block, and we're making very clear we're going to have retail and the pharmacy and potential clinic right inside the building. So, and again, there's a great opportunity for many. But in Winnipeg, of course, we're taking that same building that we are building in Selkirk, because it's such a stunning building and such well-designed by number 10 architects. We're actually then taking it, and that's why we bought Roxy Lane, the bowling lane. But after we bought it, Ray, some group came along and said, by the way, we want to make this an historical building now. We don't want nobody to touch this building.
What?
I said, yeah. And I'm thinking, well, how can that be? This thing's been sitting here. It used to be a theater. It's 93 years old. It used to be a theater at one time. Anyways, but the theater was gutted in the 1960s. They tore it apart and they made bowling lanes. So I said, how can you categorize a historical building when you already remodeled completely, changing the history of 93 years? So it doesn't no longer should categorize itself as an historical building. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Exactly. So we're going to put seniors there, and we're going to have such a beautiful, and it's a great need. Elmwood, we have a very high Métis population in that area, and that's something we need to make sure. Our people need housing too, so we'll be fighting that, Ray.
Yeah, for sure.
This really upset me. April went and represented us. Of course, she has experience as a city council in Selkirk, so she went and represented us. They voted 3-1 to go ahead. I think Calvin Klein for that. He supported us, the Federation. Kevin Klein was a city councillor, and I hope he's just listening. I want to thank him. The other 3 councillors, Vivian Santos and the other 3 voted against and wanted to continue pursuing for the city to see if it declared an historical building. So we will fight it, Ray, because it does not make sense whatsoever. If they don't, Ray, those 2 people or 3 people running around there trying to make an historical building now to save the bricks, they said. And if that's the case, are they going to be putting up, like we are, $15 million? Or are they going to, once they declare a piece of paper saying it's historic, what are they going to do? Are they going to pay the bill, the taxes? They're not. So this is something we will stand vigorously to protect and make sure that it becomes what it's supposed to be, a vision of our future to help our people. So anyways, so now I can talk about it more on the show, because this is something that really upsets me. But I also have some good news, Ray. I was coming off the plane yesterday, and I bumped into an individual comes said hello to me. I said, "Hi, David," and he said, I listen to your show every Saturday. Really? I said. And then he said, "I'm not Métis, but I listen to your show every Saturday. I like your Métis Hour show." Oh, I said, thank you for listening to me. His name is Roger Krostowski, and I want to say thank you, Roger. And I said, I want to acknowledge you. He said, I never missed a show. And then so I took off from the airport, as I said, came to the park. Water everywhere, right? Water everywhere. Number 10, you can't go that way, so got to go back number 6, which is the way I came anyway. But even there, the levels are right to the road already. So I'm going to try to leave here shortly after this meeting and head back to Winnipeg before there's any further damage by the water. Yeah. But I was in the park, stopped there on my way to Flin Flon to eat. And this gentleman comes up and wants to shake my hand. I said, sure. And he comes to sit down and said, my name is Richard Lafleur. He said, I come from Quebec. And so I was working out in Ontario, he said, and that's where I met my wife. Her name is Kathy Larson from the PA. She actually works for OCN. She's a psychologist and helps with mental health and all the other challenges, which is a very important subject and an important challenge that we know we're facing, and that's where we're building our addiction and mental challenges facility in Breezy. And so we're going to start opening construction very soon on that. But again, it was great to meet them. They were very pleased to meet with me, and they said they listened to our show. So thank you, Richard Lafleur, and thank you, Kathy Larson, and thank you to Mrs. Smith. We also met, Joanne, who used to own the Gateway Hotel. She came and said, do you mind if I sit down and visit you for a while? I said, of course. So anyways, it was such a pleasure to go around and seeing people, meeting people. She thanked us about our job that we did with the Vatican, and she said she wants to be told about the future, about how she could maybe be joining these travels. And so she said, I'll pay my own way. I'd love to go with the Métis government to different places. But one of the things I told her about, you know what, I'll tell you, there's an opportunity coming that the Métis will have a set-aside in Edmonton when the Pope is there or else St. Anne. And I said I will organize buses. Each region will have so much seats available to them. And then we will make sure we take our elders and our people that need to and want to see the Pope and come, whether it's survivors, whether it's knowledge keepers that we call today, the language used by First Nations, which we'll use also as our elders who will keep such wisdom and share that wisdom with our young people and ourselves, and maybe youth that would like to go see the Pope. So that'll be happening. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But MMF will be putting resources aside to make sure we get our people to Edmonton to make sure we get a chance to see the Pope. It won't be Cabinet this time because Cabinet did their job. We went to Rome, lobbied as vigorously as they can. They did a superb job, excellent job. I want to give them credit to our Cabinet. They worked very hard, and they try to very, very strongly impress upon the Pope and, of course, the Vatican that they should come to Manitoba. So they did their job now. Now it'll be about people going to see the Pope directly. So that'll be upcoming. So pay attention, our listeners out there. Métis government will be set aside spots in the buses, and we'll be paying for that too. So make sure that you don't have to worry about what it's going to cost you to get on the bus. We'll be taking care of you. Of course, we take care of our people wherever they are. So again, I'm truly looking forward to that. It's something I think we should all be proud of. Now, let me share a couple of other things. First, we got some hockey stars out there. I want to thank Richard Germain, the minister, of course, for youth. And Tom, I think, is involved, Franco and Kerry and Tracy's team, all of them. Anybody that was involved, they actually have a team of both men and women that are playing at the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships out in Nova Scotia. The women are playing for the gold today. They're in the finals. They've won undefeated so far. And there's out of the 20 players, 15 of them are Métis, the women. So I want to give kudos to the women out there. I'll use the language, they're kicking rear ends. And so they're doing an excellent job representing. The men, however, are knocked out. I want to thank again Richard and the team. They sponsored close to $40,000 to get these hockey players out there. And it's so good to see now that we have some resources to help these people, these young people that have visions and dreams and aspirations, that they get a chance to do something. Usually parents have a hard time because, money is very tight these days, even harder with gas prices and food. So I'm very happy that the government was there to take care of that and help cover those costs, make sure we get our hockey players out there, and for them to go and win. I hope they take the gold, and if not, I'm still proud of them either way. Also, Richard and I was involved, and last night at tonight. It's tonight at the Shaw Park. It's the home of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. It's a Métis night. That's a partnership we stuck up with Sam Cates, who owns the Goldeyes, and we have one night given to us in partnership with the Goldeyes. So they have many tickets. I'm sure they got a bunch of youth. I think they have 100 or 200 tickets that they've given out, and there'll be a bunch of celebrations taking place on Métis culture, Métis music, Métis history throughout the game. Again, Kerry and Tracy and Natasha and all the rest of the team, thank you very much. I hope you dress warm. He said, talking for chilly weather, because I was telling Cowboy, it's snowing out here. I should listen to my elder, Don Roulette. He's going to like that statement, Ray. But he told me one time, hey, you better respect me. He said, I'm your elder. I'm older than you. I said, Don, you're not an elder. Nobody gave you that title. You're just an old man. You got to earn that right. I said, you don't just call yourself an elder. Yeah. Anyway, so we laughed about it. But he said to me, and I left Winnipeg, David, he said, you better dress warm. It's going to snow. It's going to get cold in Flin Flon. I said, are you crazy? This is May. And it's snowing and it's cold. So I should have listened to him. Anyways, I was just freezing today because we were actually at the gravesite to one of our elders, and I was very proud to be invited by the family. And Evelyn Pruden, she passed on, but she never missed meetings, Ray. And if she had to take a bus to go to the annual assembly, she'd take a bus. And local meetings, she would find ways, even pay her own taxi to get there. So she never wanted to miss meetings. And I'm telling you, it's these are the type of crusaders, fighters that make the Métis Nation what it is, to make the Red River Métis who we are. These are the ones that are breaking the trail for us and people to break the trail for me. So I want to thank the Pruden family, of course, and for inviting me to be there. Her two boys were there, and her daughter and relatives. And we took a beautiful infinity pink wreath. And Judy also took some beautiful flowers, and we placed them upon the grave. And it was just such an important time. And we are writing on elders' books, a couple of them, and I know going them in the veterans when they're doing several books on veterans, on World War II veterans and other veterans. So that's something that's important, Ray, to keep that story. Like even your story, like you have a couple of books yourself. It's important to hear about your struggles, your hardships, and the challenges you went through to become who you became. So I want this. We're going to work on elders' books and tell the story, because they're actually, Ray, are encyclopedias, and we need to recognize that these individuals are the ones that took the chainsaws or the regular saws and axes and cleared the pathway through the forest for us to see the trees, beyond the trees. So again, it's just something so important to recognize. So I was very pleased again to the family, the Pruden family. Thank you for inviting me to be there this morning and to be along with Judy and Daryl. Joan couldn't come. Joan Ledoux was just basically in tears. She couldn't come to the opening in her own town. She couldn't go to the Pruden graveyard ceremony because she got COVID. So she's still overcoming it. She's giving her a good battle, Ray. She's beating her up pretty bad, but she seems to be slowly coming out of it. So our prayers go out to Joan and to get well, and she's well missed. Now, Ray, I got some other fantastic news.
Yeah.
That your president will remain president for the next 4.5 years. That I got it claimed yesterday after 5 o'clock. Nobody ran against me again, Ray, so I am the president and will still be the president. And I have some even big news. In fact, the entire 6 regions of the province, all in by acclamation, every vice president, every executive council across the southern regions, except for Thompson. But Thompson's in question because it came in at 10 to 5 or something like that, or came in the last minute, the executive member wanting to run for executive. But they're checking now because you got to have your citizenship card if you nominate, and if you have to have 20, I believe, or 25 signed. I think it's 20 signatures on there. So if they're not citizens, then they're ineligible to be counted as a nomination. Yeah. So again, we'll see what happens to that. If not, then the only election will be in Thompson, Ray. The entire province has been supported by the people of the Red River Métis, sanctioning, supporting all the work we've done, seeing the vision we put in front of our people. You know, whether it's first-time home buyers, repairing houses, money to our youth in education, youth camps that are coming. You know, we have we talked about it here. People asked me the question. They said, it's so expensive now to go to Winnipeg to go see a specialist. And now the gas is $200 to fill your tank, $200 to come back, and the hotel maybe another $400 for 2 nights. So we are building what's called like a Ronald McDonald House, so people better understand it. We'll get on, of course, our ministers on that one. And we already bought the land on Notre Dame, so I'm hoping we can get the green light from the city to get permits so we can start construction. I think it'd be a 12 or 15 apartment style. So our families, when they do come in from the north or central Manitoba, that they have a place better than an hotel, that they can go and call it their own. It'll be owned by the Métis government. And, of course, we'll just make sure that it's feasible and financially capable of handling our people, and they're not struggling to find a place to stay or to keep their family as they see doctors and specialists. So, again, those are good news. But, again, Ray, I am so proud as a president, not just by acclamation. Ray, I love to debate. I love to go and tell my story, tell my message, tell my vision, share my vision where I want to take our people. And it shows, again, that people trust in me, they believe in me, but it goes one step further. They now support the entire cabinet and the vision we take together. And I can tell you over and over again, I'm so proud of my cabinet. I said, as a leader, in order for me to lead, in order for me to continue to build our government, build our nation, advance where we belong in Confederation, advance our rights, put the resources in place that we need to help our children, help our kids, help our families, help our businesses, I need to be allowing myself to be free looking forward, that I don't have to turn my back on what's going to happen to me from my own. So that will never happen with my cabinet. They got my back, and they let me become the president I can be. So every single VP elected has been acclaimed. Every executive member has been acclaimed. Every VP in the province. And Jody's been, in fact, just to go one step further in Thompson, the only election will take place if there's election, depending if that nomination is qualified. Dave Gray's the CEO, he's a lawyer. He'll determine whether we have no say in it. It'll be up to him whether it meets the qualifications of the Constitution. But July the last year has been acclaimed, so that every vice president in the province of Manitoba has been acclaimed, along with the president, and every executive from the Pas South has been acclaimed. So that has never been done in the history of the Federation. And again, it goes to show that the people trust in us, they trust in the government, and they trust where we're going. Right? I am so proud. I'm telling you, if you can see inside my heart and my mind, and if the people can see inside there, they can embrace how proud I am that I'm given that mandate. And I take that seriously, Ray. I take that with honor and with humbleness. At the same time, knowing if they trust in me, I've got to do better. I've got to work harder, and I've got to get the job done for my people to make sure they're protected. Whether it's helping Lorraine here make sure she's at a blueberry patch to go pick her blueberries, or whether it's making sure that our farmers, our ranchers, and all those people out there, that they get their support that they need to make sure they can run their businesses. And whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a store, we have I've been told by Low-Rail Capital Corporation, Ray, that we have 1,000 registered Métis businesses in Manitoba. 1,000, Ray.
What?
Métis businesses, yes. 1,000 Métis businesses, from small shops to medium-sized shops, right across the province of Manitoba. Isn't that something to be proud of? It's unbelievable. And again, it just shows you where we're going, Ray. We're on a trailblazing event right now.
Well, I'll tell you something, David. I'm sure proud of you, as many of us are. From the first time I ever heard you speak, as I said before, I just turned to my buddy and said, "Holy."
I remember that. And that's a true story for all listeners. I'm serious. He did do that because he was invited to actually vote against me to come to the event, and his first time getting involved in politics. And so somebody that was going to run against me was actually invited him to come and listen. And then after Ray heard me speak, he did say the famous words, "Ole." Good luck. Well, anyways, that was such a, and again, Ray, I'm very proud, and as people know, and they embrace and applaud and respect my messages when I speak, but I speak from the heart, and you'll know I never come with speeches because I speak on what I've done, what I know, and that you'll never catch me trying to wonder, did I say something and try to shortcut or lie or mislead. It'll always be the truth, because that's what sets you basically different than anybody else. You stand on only what you know and what you've done, and when you start trying to lie to your people, you don't have a chance in the future. You shouldn't be a leader, because that's not what a leader should be. Anyways, Ray, thank you very much. But now I got some other things I got to do here before I get my time up here.
Yeah.
I got condolences first. If you can send the next condolences to two people, Ray, that we know for sure. There's many more, of course. If you lost a loved one, the next gospel tune will go out to the families. And Melanie Sanderson, as we spoke of her, I'm actually heading back from Simplon now. After this, she's got her services tomorrow between 1 and 8, and people can freely attend and go to it. So my thoughts and prayers are going to be out for her family and, of course, her young son. And then they're going to bury them at a later date in Duck Bay. Also is going out we have the loss of the Richardson family. Our condolences to them. The passing of their mother, Grace. Grace actually is from Cranberry Portage. She is not Métis. She received the Métis Veterans Legacy Program funding of $20,000. Her husband was Métis, who actually served in World War II. His name was Tom Richardson. He was born August 21st, 1909, and he died July 30, 1992. He's ranked a corporal, and he served in the United Kingdom, continental Europe. And so, again, I want to say how proud I am to be negotiated that with the Prime Minister of Canada, and thank Minister McCauley and Minister Seamus for standing and supporting the vision that the Prime Minister and I both shared and agreed to before he became Prime Minister, that he do the honourable thing, give an apology, and settle with our veterans. So I'm so proud that the Richardson family had the pleasure of getting, again, people need to realize this. When they put their name on that piece of paper, they were saying, I'm willing to give my life to fight for the country of Canada and the protection of those that need our help. So that is so powerful. They knew they were going to give it was a death sentence for some of them when they signed the paper to go and fight for the freedom we enjoy today. So, again, if you can say to the Richardson family, to the Sanderson family, Ray, we really appreciate that. And now the birthdays. Now we got birthdays coming here. We got Judy Mayer. I always tease her, your family's getting so big, Judy. There's a birthday every month or every Saturday. So, and his happy birthday is going out to Brooklyn Mayor, Minister Judy Mayer's granddaughter, celebrating didn't say her birthday, her age, Sunday, May 15th. Her birthday's tomorrow. And I think I got some more birthdays here. I got to push down. Everything's on technology today, right? I think I can't do only one birthday. Maybe there is only one birthday. Oh, no, there they are. No, that's it. Right on. So that's right. Good. So I have to do my reports too, right? Like that. I don't do this as sent to me from staff. But we're also doing something else, and I'll close off with these ones. Firstly, I want to congratulate two things. I want to congratulate the following. You heard me on the show, Ray. You yourself ran at one time as a politician, but you heard me on the show. We need to get involved in political parties. We got some of our people that work at the Federation involved in the Conservative Party, some are involved in the NDP Party, and now we have people that actually ran on the Indigenous Peoples Commission, and I'm going to say their names, South Republic. They all won. And that's Desiree Gillespie. She's the chairperson. Dustin Panson, he's the vice chair. Kerry Smith, Southern Métis representative. Bonnie Hatch, the Northern Métis, all the way. I met her dad and her uncle here today. They were at the grand opening. Kat Patneo is the woman's representative, and Kat is so proud about it. And Taylor Fleming, the youth representative. And John Sanderson is the First Nation from SKO representing Treaty 1, 2, and 3, and the of course, called the Indigenous Peoples Commission. So John Sanderson also now is sitting on that body. So I think they have a Northern First Nation yet to select. But that's the panel. And why it's important, why do I talk about this? Because these are the individuals that will be selected to go to an annual convention of the Liberal Party. And this is where policies are talked about. This is where the government gets direction from the convention, tells them what they are to fight for and stand for and to do. So these policies carry a lot of power. And so it's important that we have our say in them. That's why we need to ensure we're involved in all political aspects of parties to make sure they're following through on commitments to the Métis. And I'll give you examples, like even when you saw Harper, you saw the last, I feel quite bad for him. I forgot his name now. He was the leader of the Conservative Party, but he threw him out not long after he ran against Trudeau. But when we asked them to show us their policy, they had nothing, Ray, nothing for the Métis. So I said, how can it be you're going to represent the country of Canada, represent every Canadian, and you have no plan whatsoever for the Métis? So, oh, no, we're going to fix it. Never did. I can't remember his name. Maybe somebody can help me. April's sitting across me here. She's shaking her head. She doesn't remember. But he was Aaron O'Toole. So I do it myself. Aaron O'Toole was his name. And he's no longer the leader. Now they're having new leadership run. But I didn't hear one of them talk about the Métis yet. The only one close was Jean Charest. And maybe Brown. But Jean Charest is the only one. So when you look at it, Ray, these policies mean a lot. They have a big impact, and they carry a lot of potential future impact to our people, and how it's going to impact us in relations to whether it's issues on health, child welfare, housing, taxation, all the rest of it, elders, pensions. Now, the last part I'll report on, Ray, is this. I was in Toronto. I'll speak on it more next Saturday. I met with the Sunnybrook Hospital. We are going to be doing research. So next Saturday, I'll be talking about this. So people listening, this is going to be on obesity. It's going to be on sleep apnea. And I know people listening on Métis right now, they know of that issue. And rheumatoid arthritis and arthritis. We're going to do research and looking at the future of how Tylenol 3 and all these other pills today are being so addictive to our people. And we're also going to look at the future of medicinal cannabis. And it's going to be medicine, of course, being created by the plant, and how that will alleviate the pressure and the pain for many. So with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye. But Barb Laverly, happy Métis birthday. And that's May 19th. Is that your mom? That's her mom. That's April's mother. And she's a hard-working woman, always involved in the MMF. And again, Barb, happy birthday, and I'll be sending you a gift. So again, take care, and good job, my wife, Lorian, out there working hard in the background. Nobody sees it, but she's always there making sure that things are going well in the house, but also on the political side. So take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you, to our elders again. Thank you for giving us the guidance, and to our youth, thank you for getting ready to carry the torch. We'll talk to you back this Saturday.
All right, David, thank you so much, and congratulations once again. Well deserved.
Thank you, Ray. Bye-bye.
Bye now.